Oh, is that on-air line on?
Yes.
Wait, can they hear me right now?
Are all the mics muted?
No.
Usually he mutes all the mics.
That really meant that's good. Alright, we're muted, guys. Don't worry about it. Alright. We're counting down. Guys, we got 56 seconds. It's going to be great. No one worry. We're all muted now. I only sang a little bit to the public.
Good.
We're counting down. Guys, we got 56 seconds. It's going to be great.
Definitely not muted.
We are having a day.
Check one. All right, it is Thursday.
Yes, it is.
And we are
Off to a wild start.
off to a really wild start today.
You're welcome.
We have Jenny taking over for Brian today, and she was a little chatty before we singing.
Listen, Brian never
Singing
told
along?
me how to mute it before we
That's
got
right.
started, so you got to hear me be excited that we were muted, and we were not.
It was
Yeah.
all excitement. You know, that's all it was.
I
We're
heard
excited.
singing.
Yeah, I definitely. If there's a mic in a headset, I'm gonna hit a tune. I'm gonna hit those
Yeah.
whistle notes.
Oh,
Mariah
that's
Carey style.
That was good.
Yeah, that's fun.
We enjoyed it.
Well, hopefully you guys have a good sense of humor and understand that we're, you know, we're not.
Oh, I'm already getting nasty emails.
Uh-oh, here we go. No, Brian is out today. Jenny, do you know where he is?
He is shooting a video for, I believe, Farm Family of the Year.
Okay, yeah. So Brian's out. So we've got Rob and I, normal faces.
Still here. Still doing
Jenny,
our
Abnormal face.
Yeah, so you know, it's been a fun week so far. Been a busy week. I saw several buttons rolling around the
Yeah,
building.
lots of excitement building for Rock City Burger Week.
Yeah, Rock City Burger Week, which I know that we talked about a little bit. I was just gonna see if I could pull up.
Because we like to talk about food. It is
do.
next week, September 26th through October 2nd.
Yeah, and I know one of the things that we I'm pretty sure I just gave every privacy permission possible to my iPad. So anyway, $9 burgers all week, like you said. This kicks off the 26th of September, runs through October the 2nd. Some of the participants in the program is Rosie's Pot and Kettle, which is downtown on 6th Street, south on Main, Hill Station, my neck of the woods, Gadwall's Grill, someone we frequent.
Stone's Throw Brewing.
Yeah, Stone's Throw, Skinny J's.
You can find out a lot more at www.rockcityburgerweek.com.
And why are we talking about this, you might ask? Well, it is put on or sponsored by the Arkansas Beef Council and others.
Yes, and we like burgers.
Yeah, and first 1,000 burgers sold, there would be $1 each donated to the Arkansas Food Bank.
Mhm.
So all around a good cause and a good reason to get excited to eat a $9 cheeseburger or hamburger.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. Count me in. What else we have going on? Beef. Speaking of beef,
Yeah,
beef field
keeping
day.
on that. Yeah, keeping on that theme. We're way out on this, but I just wanted to
We're way out on a lot of things.
no doubt.
Did you just look over at me?
No, not at
I
all.
don't know what you're talking about. Beef field. I wanted to just get this in the mix because I know it's that busy time of year. But Beef Field Day is coming up with the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture, October 28th. I believe they just announced this week, so it's fresh off the press. And we'll talk about it a few more times and have more details. But October 28th in Hope at the Southwest Research and Extension Center, the Beef Field Day, and I think obviously there's some focus on forage and hay in that event as well.
Well, speaking of being a little far out on something, but at least again something to put on your radar, put on your calendar. Coming up in January next 2023, we'll be starting that. It'll be here in no time.
Yeah, for sure.
January 25th through 28th is the Arkansas Grown Conference and Expo.
Okay.
And Arkansas Department of Agriculture's Arkansas Grown program, partnering with Arkansas Agriculture Associations and organizations to host the first Arkansas Grown Conference and Expo.
All right. Well, that sounds
and
cool.
That's going to be here in Little Rock, Embassy Suites. You can find more about it on the ArkansasGrown.org website. So.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Well, speaking of, we were. I guess we'll round out with one other.
We got events.
Ag news. I mean, we do. We've got events. This may just become a calendar show. I mean, this time of year, and especially winter.
We'll go from a calendar to this day in history, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Make our jobs a little bit easier. Yeah. Arkansas Ag Hall of Fame announced this week that they have opened up nominations for this year's class. Those nominations are open until November 1st. You can get all the details, including complete a nomination form at ArkansasAgHallOfFame.org. I think also you can just call here at Farm Bureau, talk to Cindra in the PR department. She can help you out. And
now, how about some news?
Yeah,
let's jump on it.
Kick right into it. Well, we'll kick off today's news with a follow-up on a story that Rob, you brought to the show last week. U.S. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack visited the Natural State last week, where he met with farmers and held discussions about the USDA's partnerships for climate-smart commodities funding. The program was developed to expand markets for America's climate-smart commodities, leverage the greenhouse gas benefits of climate-smart commodity production, and provide direct, meaningful benefits to production and agriculture, including for small and underserved producers. On last Wednesday, Secretary Vilsack announced USDA's an investment of up to $2.8 billion in 70 selected projects under the first pool of partnerships. He followed that announcement with a visit to Arkansas on Friday. Announced his funds on Wednesday, was here on Friday in Lonoke County. We were there. We were in attendance at the event that featured a panel of stakeholders representing USA Rice, Ducks Unlimited, the National Black Growers Council, Windrock International, Tyson Foods, and the University of Arkansas. The Ag Department was there too. USA Rice Federation, Windrock International, and Tyson Foods will take the lead on major contracts worth at least $160 million in total. Those projects will be geared mostly towards rice production, a few other row crops, and cattle and poultry. Windrock International's got $20 million to help farmers, particularly historically underserved producers, adopt sustainable farming practices. Windrock is working with Rice and Foods and Arbor Intelligence, as well as the Intertribal Agriculture Council. And then, of course, Tyson Foods here in Arkansas will get $60 million to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase carbon sequestration in beef production, a topic we were talking about this morning. Now, row crops for livestock feed like corn, and to provide technical assistance and incentive payments to small and underserved producers. To learn more about the projects funded in Arkansas and beyond, believe it or not, there's much more information than that long bit that I just shared.
Yeah, that was fun.
Visit USDA.gov.
Jenny's learning all about the fun here, huh? Just
Sorry
sit
if
back and
your
listen.
headphones went down a little bit. I was trying to figure out which one was my headphones because y'all are pretty loud in my head.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, apologies. I saw you over there. I didn't know if you were about to.
Y'all looked like y'all are very concerned if you're touching this
spin
board.
it.
What's happening?
You know what my thought was? Brian never touches that. What could she be doing right now?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So, speaking of funding,
Yeah.
so there's a little more out there, and this came this morning, an announcement of $500 million in grants and loans for high-speed internet projects in rural areas, all the way from Alaska to Alabama. It was announced by Secretary Vilsack. He said that the 32 projects in 20 states would receive $502 million in funding through the third round of USDA's Reconnect program.
Mhm.
With those awards, $858 million has been committed of the $1.15 billion offered in the third round of applications. The largest award announced today went to Pine Belt Telephone Company, which serves west central Alabama. They received an award for $49.7 million.
Wow.
There were no Arkansas projects announced in this round today, but the deadline for applications for a similar amount of funding in round 4 is November 2nd. Wanted to get that out there. According to the announcement as well, the department will make additional investments for rural high-speed internet in the coming months, including funding from the new infrastructure bill, which provides $65 billion to expand high-speed internet to 2 communities across the U.S. So
Okay.
a lot of funding flowing right now for a lot of different types of projects. And obviously, rural broadband's been a big issue for us. And again, nothing to announce in Arkansas today, but round 4 is coming with a deadline on November 2nd, plus additional funding coming through another separate law.
Yeah. I'm going to make a request off script here. And if you are listening to the podcast, or you do listen, give us a call, drop a comment, and let us know if you've seen a change in service or speed or quality of connection or something like that, specifically, not so much with cellular, but specifically at home.
We'd love to hear success stories or stories of progress in this area. So yeah, absolutely. If you see this, if you're watching it now, or if you watch it after the fact, please comment on our Facebook page. Leave us a note. Say, yeah, much better here, wherever you are. We just want to hear about those things and share.
Yeah, and if you want me to come back on the show,
feel
free to comment that as well.
Yeah,
looking for a long line of those comments.
Yeah, we'd love to hear if you've had an improved internet or broadband situation at home. All right, just a heads up that the Arkansas Department of Agriculture is reminding producers of protection under the Arkansas Grain Grading Act. Since we've embarked on the harvest season here in the state, it's a good time to remind row crop farmers about this piece of legislation that sets minimum standards for grain grading. It gives producers an opportunity to dispute an issued grade. The Arkansas Grain Grading Act was enacted in 2019 and applies to all grain warehouses in Arkansas. Under the act, grain warehouses and dealers that engage in grain grading must have their programs and graders certified by the Grain Warehouse section of the Arkansas Department of Ag's Plant Industries Division. All grain grading must be conducted according to the USDA's official U.S. Standards for Grain Handbook. A warehouse must grade and sample each delivered load within 24 hours. Warehouses must retain any sample that's received more than a 4% deduction for a minimum of 2 days. Producers wishing to dispute an issued grade may have the sample regraded by an official grading agency. If you request that, the grain warehouse shall provide the sample to the official grading agency. The resulting grade shall be deemed the official grade of the sample. Those wishing to dispute grades must request a regrade within 2 days, probably because that's the time that the sample's held. More information is available at agriculture.arkansas.gov. That's agriculture.arkansas.gov. Or you can email grainwarehouse@agriculture.arkansas.gov.
Yeah, not something a lot of farmers had a lot of input in, and we were involved in that. I mean, it's important stuff for those farmers, and we've seen the importance of it this year in some areas in the state.
Yeah, and so that happened before I was here at Farm Bureau, but I sat in some of the committee hearings here in the state, and it's a really shining example of how producers, when they speak out, they share their voice, their experience. Policy can
Grassroots,
make a change.
grassroots success.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's step away from the news to learn a bit about our annual Farm Bureau membership. Would you like to share an example here?
Huh?
Do you want to share an example here?
Yeah, I can.
If you don't have one on hand. Yeah or nay?
Yeah, I can do it.
It's going to be right here.
Did you know your $40 annual ARFB membership contributes to the work being done in your local community? We've talked a lot about this lately, and you can learn more by calling your local county office or simply joining today at arfb.com.
Yeah, Rob, I was thinking since we had Jenny here, and
Yeah.
she has a lot of contact with the work going on in counties across the state.
She does
I
indeed.
thought Jenny might be able to share a specific example with us.
But she,
Yeah.
she
Do you have
decided
something?
to text a friend.
I've got something. Text a friend. So I know Prairie County Farm Bureau's been posting a bit. They're of course always participating in Player of the Week, so they congratulate Jack Kirby. He's a senior number 3 at Des Arc High School for Player of the Week. They've been doing that every week, and they've also recognized recently a family in the community as the Prairie County Farm Bureau Family of the Year. That was about 2 days ago, and and they're also participating in a September giveaway. It's called Help Us Fight Hunger in Des Arc and Hazen Schools. So they're basically saying to enter, you need to donate at least $20 in money or food to either Des Arc or Hazen School District for their backpack program, which helps feed kids over the weekend, students over the weekend. You can drop off to the school of your choice or to the Farm Bureau office in Hazen, and then comment below letting them know that you donated, and you'll be entered in to win a free backpack. September is Hunger Action Month, if you didn't know, nationally, so this is a really cool program to participate in. And Prairie County Farm Bureau, thank you so much for being a champion for your community.
Yeah, and we're going to try to do more of that, point out these examples, because again, that's what the membership supports. It supports this kind of community level activity and support, and we want to kind of highlight that, obviously, going forward. So.
Yeah, I was at Prairie County's annual meeting on Tuesday night or Monday night, I guess, and they honored the farm family there, presented with a plaque. But I'm going to tell you, look, that's one of the best meals I've had at an annual meeting. Like, they didn't bring in barbecue catering or fried fish. This was a straight up ladies of the church down there cooked dinner and served us, and the dessert table was 10 out of 10.
You know, I'm starting to think as a marketing tactics that instead of promoting like the community efforts we do, maybe I should just tell people, hey, you get really good meals if you go to the annual meeting, so join today and go get a good meal.
Get down to the annual meeting.
It is certainly.
I'll do some testing on that and see what happens.
An incentive. Well, I guess we better get back to the news.
Getting back to the news, I have some results of an interesting study that was released this week, in fact.
Okay.
This may not be that surprising to some people, but the new study from CoBank and the University of Missouri show that agricultural producers often depend on off-farm jobs, especially those farmers who are just starting out. CoBank, by the way, is among the largest companies to offer loans and financial services to rural communities. About 56% of principal farm operators had a job off the farm in 2017, up from 37% in 1974. So that's quite an increase through the decades here. So it's an interesting study. Among the producers under the age of 35, 63% had other jobs.
Wow.
The report states that more reliable income and healthcare benefits were the top reasons for off-farm jobs, and half of farm households have a negative farm income in a given year, so other income sources are critical for most farmers as they pay down agricultural investment debts. 82% of income comes from off-farm sources, giving producers more stability and the ability to support their farms. Young farmers had an average debt-to-income ratio of about 21% from 2011 to 2019 versus an average of 6.3% for off-farm occupation farms, the university and the bank said. It's like I said, this is fascinating information.
Yeah,
It's
this
40,
is, I'm blown away.
yeah, it's a 46-page study, and management, professional services, natural resources, construction, and maintenance account for a combined 62% of off-farm jobs. So management, professional services, natural resources, construction, and maintenance. Around 38% of farm spouses work in management and professional services, while 30% work in trades and healthcare.
Yeah.
So again, interesting slice of data there about farm life in general and what it means, especially for younger farmers and the challenges of getting into farming and what you have to do to make that work.
Yeah. And this doesn't even include the folks, the in-laws or the kids who just help on the farm. I'm thinking, we were recently at the Broadwater Farm in Independence County, and Rusty, Dennis's son-in-law, he works in equipment sales, but they're just really flexible with him, and he can come and help on the farm, and their daughter is a therapist, and and they are, the farm's not in their name per se,
Right.
So it's just really amazing.
But it's all in the family and
the
they're
people
all
who you're
playing the
seeing
role.
out on the street,
Yep.
who are going home at some point and moving cows or doing something.
That's
driving
what we
grain
have that
cars.
award in Young Farmers and Rangers that we
Yeah,
award
that's right.
to based on an individual that holds a part-time job and also works full-time on the farm trying to help them out. So
Yeah.
it's out there. We constantly have plenty of people applying for that. So
And again,
Well, I'm
it's-
thinking about ag teachers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard
it's
to
a lot
find
of
an
that.
ag teacher that doesn't have a farm.
a lot of people balancing the life of farming. They want to be in
Yeah.
farming, but they're doing what they have to do to stay in that business.
Finances just aren't
Mhm.
there. What's really interesting too is when you juxtapose
That's a good
this
word.
number with versus the 1974, but
Right.
then you think farm sizes actually increase. So it's odd that farm size increases,
Right.
yet more people have jobs off the farm.
And maybe that's a factor of
Interesting.
larger farms, more farm debt, more
Yeah,
things
could
to pay
be.
on.
I don't know. I
yeah.
guess we're just
I haven't
kind of
dug in.
speculating.
Yeah,
but-
and honestly, I haven't dug into the study.
Yeah.
I was given the highlights there, but I just thought it was interesting enough to take a look at.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
it's very cool. That's a great find on your part. Well, we'll wrap up the week's news with a look at the harvest progress this week. I think it's safe to say we're in full swing now. Even those who were late getting going are on the move, getting crop out of the field. Corn made a big jump this week from about half the crop out last week to just under 75% as of this past Monday. It's been sunny and warm and dry all week. I wouldn't be surprised when we come back in here Thursday of next week if that's not sitting at 90+% for corn. The rice harvest continues moving along at 41%, which means we doubled the amount of crop harvested over the past week. Soybeans are slowly coming along with 25% matured and 9% harvested, which is slightly behind this time last year in the 5-year average. That 9% harvested number is a little behind. Bringing up the rear is cotton with 1% harvested and 81% bolls open. You are starting to see those pretty snow white fields around, especially over in the Delta. Now, peanuts set at 2% dug. I did not know that was the terminology for harvesting peanuts, but USDA, where in the column where it normally says harvested,
2%
on
I respect
peanuts.
that. I
Yeah,
respect that.
it makes sense. They grow
Yeah.
underground, But so peanuts sit at 2% dug. Don't make fun of me. That's official terminology, which is quite a bit behind this week last year when we had 20% of the crop out of the ground.
Well,
So we're about 18% behind. I want to quickly hit on a topic that's coming back around, mostly impacting cattle producers. I talked to a couple last night. We've got the board, have had the board in town this week, and that topic is drought. We had a few burn bans issued in counties this week, and they are on the east side and the west side of the state. We're seeing signs of drought pop up, especially in western counties. again, I talked to a cattle producer last night that said there's some B2 spots in his area. So just I know we've been all over the map this summer, especially with rain and drought and all that. But
Well,
anyway, the good news is with some of that late summer rain, some producers were able to squeeze an extra hay cutting in to help offset the hay that they had to feed in the summer months. And as always, we'll continue to monitor the harvest and report back here each week until we're wrapped up.
and come to think of it, Michael Lee, Farm Bureau member, we talked to quite a bit about different things. He up near Conway. He was on THV 11 last night, I believe. Just talking about this very issue, the weather and heat this summer and where things stand for him. So it is an ongoing thing, and they're continuing to talk about it. And it's good to see the media paying attention to that.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
But I'd like to close out today with something that falls in the line of advice, tips and advice, and it relates to an issue we've talked quite a bit about. But this week is actually National Farm Safety and Health Week. And the theme this year is protecting agriculture's future. One of the major emphases, I don't know, this year is an issue, again, that we've talked about a lot. And in fact, we talked about it on THV 11 when we were on the Vine midday show last month. Road safety, rural road safety in particular, it's because, it's harvest season. Roads throughout rural Arkansas are going to have farm equipment traveling on them as our state's growers work to get that food from the fields to our tables. Again, we've made a point of mentioning this almost weekly. But it so happens that American Farm Bureau took the opportunity to post some commentary on this issue recently, again, with Safety Week going on, Safety and Health Week. So I wanted to share some of those because they offered some key points. If you're out there driving on the roads, here's seven simple things you can do when you meet farm equipment on the road.
Oh yeah.
Number one, be alert and cautious. Give large farm equipment and other slow-moving vehicles space. Number two, do not pass if you are in a space designated as a no passing zone or in any area that is not safe to do so, like intersections, bridges, railroad crossings, among others. And I think, when we were on THV 11, we showed a little video clip because
we did.
We'll have our own video on this topic, but a little video clip of the bridge crossing and how to handle that.
Yeah.
Make sure, number three, make sure the tractor isn't trying to make a left turn before you pass on the left. Number four, expect farm equipment to take wider turns and even have to use both lanes at times. And then number five, don't tailgate. Give yourself space between your vehicle and the slow-moving vehicle ahead of you.
They're talking to me there.
Yeah, I get that. It happens. Number six, don't assume the farmer knows you're there.
That's a good one.
So loud in those machines.
Yeah, it is loud in there. You've been in a few of these, and they're focused. They're trying to get a job done. They're trying to be safe as well, but you've got to realize that they can't. They don't have the hearing that
not
you
exactly
might
a
think.
good clear line of sighting.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
So number seven, be careful when you do get the chance to pass. Farmers will often move their equipment over when it is safe to do so. Be mindful of the areas around grain elevators, auction barns, farm entrances.
Yeah.
Farm equipment and heavily loaded trucks will be turning in and pulling out onto the roadway from these kinds of places. This is the same as true of logging areas, big logging trucks coming and going. As you drive behind or pass a farmer or rancher, just think about how you'd feel if that was your spouse, your child, your parent that's in that vehicle.
Yeah, that's a really good
and treat them with, respectfully and accordingly. Be on the lookout for our new series on this topic called Cultivating Safe Roads. We're going to have some videos with these similar types of tips, and we'll actually illustrate what this means. And like I said, like I pointed out earlier, the bridge crossing scenario, we have a very helpful video on that. But they'll be coming soon to our website, arfb.com, and our social channels, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. A lot of work, a lot of good work being done there. These are some really strong reminders. It really boils down to time. Be patient.
Right.
Everybody wants to get home safely.
There's not always blinkers on the machines. You just.
Yeah. And look, you may have your family in the car. You want to be safe. That farmer wants to get home safely to his or her family at the dinner table. So just keep that in mind.
We all have the same goal in mind.
That's right.
Well, Jenny, I don't know if you listen or watch the show very often. Don't tell us if you don't. Just pretend you do. So that Brian always brings some this day in history
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
If you watch, then you may have brought your own
I did.
to that.
I did. In fact, I did some research before I came on,
Mm-hmm.
and then also vetted that out to see if they were appropriate today in history. Because some historical events definitely aren't.
Brian cuts out quite a few
Yeah.
events that he comes
So
across.
I went ahead and ran that through. I always need to do that before I start speaking. But I do have a couple. Here.
Okay.
All right.
Are you gonna quiz us? Sometimes
He forms it in a quiz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes he may.
All right, I got this.
You don't have to.
All right. So, in 1994, this
Great music here.
this TV sitcom, created by David Crane and Marta Kaufman, debuted
Friends.
on NBC.
Friends. Got it.
I forgot how old y'all are.
Yeah.
I never says that.
I forgot.
Yeah,
that I just thought,
See what we have to deal with.
in my head, I was like, do I omit the producers'
Hold on.
names or do I leave them in? But then y'all so old that
Well,
y'all knew the producer names.
I almost just said when you said
Hello,
sitcom.
Brian. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you get back here soon?
When you said 94 and you said sitcom, I almost went Friends.
Yeah.
But
It could be like Seinfeld or something. I don't know.
No, Marta
No, because
Kaufman,
that's
David
not
Crane.
yet. All right. Well, anyways. All right. Next one. All right. So let's see if y'all get this one.
All right.
In 1920, this is a sport one, by the way.
Oh boy.
Or is it tennis?
And
Rob
cool.
kills
In-
tennis.
inside
Rob kills
jokes here.
tennis Trivia. Yeah.
All right.
Well, if you listen to
all
the
right.
podcast,
In 1920, a grand jury convenes to investigate charges that 8 players from this organization
Chicago White Sox.
conspired to fix the 1919 World Series. Yes, it is the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
What?
The black-
Who are y'all?
The Black Sox. That's what they called them that time.
What-
Is that Shoeless Joe Jackson?
Yes.
Is that all that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is like?
Bring the heat
This-
when you come in here. Okay?
Yeah.
This
We
is
are ready.
a really cutthroat. I think y'all need to do a spin-off series where you just say random facts and Rob just sits here and goes, and it's like, oh yeah, that was right.
Look, if we want to do a trivia team, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Do you
Yeah.
like what? How?
You know, there's a movie about that.
Yeah, but do you just sit around and learn trivia facts? Like, are you always somewhere answering trivia?
My mind is broken and it only remembers these random facts. Important things, I don't know.
All
But
right.
I've got all the random facts you could ever want.
Plus, Rob is just generally like
All right.
pop culture.
Well, how about this one? How
All
about
right,
this
last
one?
one.
I was not gonna do it because I was like, no way. So here we go. Let's see how well you know about the 1800s.
Oh, history
Uh-oh.
is his
Oh, boy.
wheelhouse.
In 1869, an opera called Das Ringgold, the first piece of his Ring cycle, premieres in Munich, Germany. Who produced that opera?
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
1869.
It's not Wagner. Is it?
Is it? Is it?
I'm Richard Wagner.
Oh, wow. All right. That's
What
a good
is this
yeah.
place?
Who wants to be on my trivia team?
That's-
Who are you?
That's a good place to end this.
Yeah, we better wrap this up.
All right. Well, that wraps up the newscast. The news for this week, brother.
We're just going to stay here and keep blowing Jenny's mind, but you guys don't have to listen to it. Thank you for joining us
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
We really appreciate it.
Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen. That's
Yeah.
wrong.
Sorry, that ain't the outro. My bad.
That's all right. Just remember, you can catch this live stream every Thursday, 2 p.m., Facebook and YouTube. Turn on those notifications, get the alerts, listen to the audio version later on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, the Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau and hosted by me, Jason Brown.
And me, Rob Anderson.
Our show today is produced by the one and only Jenny Higgs,
That's right.
Brian Pistole, and Matthew Magdafrau.
We'll see you next week.